The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad. It's the Pod Squad. The Pod Squad.
Okay, I think we're recording.
Attention.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Guess what? We're back. After a year of, I don't know, a year-long break, right?
Oh, we're working hard.
Oh, yeah.
Doing our day job.
Maybe not working so hard on the podcast, but working hard nonetheless.
Nonetheless, on the job that pays the bills.
Exactly. All right. Well, you've stumbled across the Pod Squad sessions, and I'm Belinda. And I hope I get this right. and right here is Mike.
Yeah.
And right here is Victor.
Hey,
hope.
that's me.
We'll see.
It's different on my screen.
Right here is supposed to be Susan, but I don't know. It might be José. And over here is Susan, kitty cat. So I don't know if that helps trying to figure out which squares we're in, but
We need to do a Brady Brunch intro. So we're all like, looking up and down.
I'm in season.
Hi, Susan. Hi, José. Hey, Vic.
Hey. Happy Thanksgiving.
Mike. Hi, Mike.
Right. I think everybody's screen is different because none of that matched.
None of it matched. Oh, my
Me neither.
gosh.
I'm Victor.
There we go. That's Victor. There or there? I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
I'm
Anyway.
Jose in case you got me mixed up with the cats.
Oh, well,
It has her name on it, right?
you know what? It's not on there, and normally it would come on.
Yeah.
I see your names.
You
I
see
see
that?
your name too. I
Mine
don't see
doesn't
mine.
show.
But I don't see Mike. Mike is the phone name.
Oh, okay.
Huh,
Mike is all about power.
I should
that's his name, Mr. Power. He's a superhero.
Not kidding, right?
Well, anyway, so we are back. This is a Pod Squad sessions. We did take a break. We are now back. I don't know what else to say. I mean, we've been busy working, and we finally decided that we wanted to get back in touch with you all, get back in touch with each other, and
Oh.
whoa, what was that? Somebody
Whoa.
Mr.
Alien.
Motorola Moto is
Right.
there he is.
There it is. I thought that was his new name or something.
It's trying.
Motorola Moto Mike.
Yes.
I don't
Anyway,
know what-
we discussed our show. We're revamping our format a little bit, so hopefully it's something that you like. We know that in the past sessions got a little long, and so we're trying to cut that down a little bit, but we'll see how that works.
Wait.
Say what now?
Jose, are you doing no shave November?
Yeah.
No shave for a while. Try to see if I can let it grow out.
Is that what it is? I thought it was no chafe November. So I've been using powder a lot lately.
Oh, too much info there. I'm hoping to get hired as a mall Santa Claus because I hear they make pretty good money. And then y'all mentioned Pancho Claus.
You're a little early for that, Jose. We're right about.
Well, it takes me a long time to grow a beard. That's why. So.
We're at Thanksgiving right now. Let's just wait on that.
By Christmas, I hope to have a mustache at least.
And he needs to grow a belly too. He needs time to eat, And
True. Yes.
fit into
I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
With tamales, I understand.
Yeah.
It'll work. You have a trainer that just shovels tamales into your.
Oh my gosh.
You can do it. Come on.
You can do it. Don't exercise. No, don't get up. Stay right there.
I just came up with an idea. You know how 4th of July they have the hot dog eating contest, Coney Island, that Joey Chestnut guy.
Yeah.
They need to have a tamale eating contest down here.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I can see it.
Although I would enjoy it, I know I'd lose, but I would enjoy it very much.
I don't think I could stand watching that. It gets a little
Little gross.
I don't like listening to people eat, much less seeing them like start
Gobble.
No,
So if I eat the tamale with the shuck, does that count as two?
who would do that?
Presidents?
They were corrected, if I remember. It was a long time ago. But...
Well, I'm old, so I remember.
I remember that.
See?
Okay.
Was that here in town or?
I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was in front of the Alamo.
Oh, that I don't remember. But...
I think it was.
It wasn't ahead of time.
Which president?
Which
Gerald
president?
Was it Bush or no?
Gerald Ford.
It was Ford.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was.
I'm sure our young viewers won't know what the heck we're talking about.
Gerald Ford, look him up. The clumsiest president ever.
The only president that was never elected.
Oh.
Oh.
You know that?
Yeah.
Trivia.
Mike, Jose, you're the history teacher. You should have.
Yeah, I should have known that. Wow.
Taking a break.
I know my brain.
He took over for Spiro Agnew, and then as vice president, and then when Nixon stepped down, that's how he became president.
Oh, that's right. That's
Correct.
right. Spiro Agnew had to step down.
I forgot about Spiro.
He was never elected.
That's right.
He became president by default.
Yep.
That's true. That's good trivia. I had
That
forgotten.
is your historical trivia right there. Yep.
Oh, that's our first segment.
Well, what is our second segment going to be? So we were going to, since this is a Thanksgiving episode.
Is your hair blonder?
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's a filter.
What about yours, Mike? Is your hair blonder?
I think it is.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted.
by the shine in my hair.
The blonde.
It's the same hair.
No.
Okay, well,
You just washed it.
it is freshly washed. and
Well, there you
styled.
There you go. See.
Oh, okay.
Where was I? Somebody interrupted and I forgot.
Mm.
Oh, this is a Thanksgiving episode, and we have a couple.
Glasses? I'm kidding. I'm just.
Stop it. No, we have Susan, who's going to be presenting some information about Native Americans in movies.
No.
Okay. I don't know.
Just let her do her thing.
Yeah.
Jose, you were going to present some information about Native Americans in music?
Movies.
In movies.
Backwards.
Okay, your movie, Susan's music. Okay. Thank you for correcting me. So, which one of you two want to go first?
Play rock, paper, scissors.
I can't see
Okay.
either of your hands, so I don't know.
Susan wins, damn it.
Oh, okay. All right,
Okay.
Susan, your turn.
With her Siamese cats.
Well, going through Native American music, it was a little harder than I thought. I think most people would think of the instrumental ones, like, with the drums, the flutes, the shakers, the rattles, what they call them. Yeah, the music you hear when they have religious ceremonies.
So you're thinking you're talking about like traditional?
Oh yeah, because you guys didn't really say. I have some couple people, I guess, modern, but I have to admit I haven't heard of them. Well, except for one. But most of the stuff, I think most people look at the traditional stuff. The songs you hear, the music you hear during dancing, their storytelling.
Mhm.
But I was trying to. If I said I need a month or so to study, because there's a ton of stuff. First of all, I did not know there was a rock and roll hall of fame for them.
Oh.
A separate
was-
Rock and Roll
either.
Hall of Fame?
Native American rock and yeah.
Oh, wow.
For them. And it was just this past couple weeks, November 3rd. Unfortunately, it said on the website that they will let us know when they'll be available to be watched.
Mm.
So it's not very famous, I guess. It was
They're just
Posted.
getting
hosted by Jimmy Page. He's, of course, an English
Mhm.
musician. And of course, the main person they were talking about was Link Ray.
Oh yeah.
And he's like one of the first, pretty much, I guess, the first. I forgot to put the date. I would say, what, 50s, maybe 60s, because I know that when you look at his pictures then until, recently, before he passed away, it was a whole total, difference. They look clean cut
Mhm.
that way. And of course, afterwards, they went to their traditional, they started growing the hair and, he was Shawnee from the Shawnee tribe.
Oh, wow.
And he had his own band. And actually, I was listening to some of it. It's pretty good. Actually, it was a lot of guitar, and a lot of people seem to be influenced by him.
I'm looking at some of his stuff online right now, and
Rumble was one of his most I think it was the most famous one. An instrumental.
I didn't know that.
But it was banned here, so
Yeah.
because
I guess they were like inside fighting.
Yeah.
All those like biker thugs, like into fights with each other. The song, I guess, was like pumping them up.
And when I was listening to it, no, it was awesome, and he
Started knocking things down,
good
Susan.
at his What?
You started knocking things down. You're like, ah.
But I mean, it wasn't like that. His guitar playing was awesome. How do I say it? Well, he was my main one I was looking at, because I was trying to look for modern, and there are modern ones, of course, and you'll hear different genres, because they don't, you think, when I first said, I'll take it, I was thinking the instrumental, but I do remember buying some music from Native Americans, but I could not find my music. So when I looked up some people, of course, they have different things: hip hop, rock, alternative, almost metal. So you'll hear all different kinds. Of course, their message is pretty much the same, though. It's about their heritage, the injustice they went through. So you can hear it in there. I suggest people look it up, because it's a lot of people. I mean, they influence a lot of people. There's also, well, I'm sure even everyone know what Redbone. It was a band too, made of Native American and Mexican heritage people. They came out with that song that's on Gardens of Galaxy. Come and Get Your Love. Don't you always hear played?
How does it go?
I can't do it. I wanted to play, but we can't play.
We can play like maybe 6 seconds of it, but
Ooh, can you guess the song, right?
Can we play it on the kazoo? That's still like counted.
yeah.
Hey, right? I don't have one. Do you have one?
As a matter of fact, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you probably do.
He's gonna pull it out of his pocket.
I always carry one with me.
All right, play a couple. I don't know if you can hear it though.
That wasn't me. I don't know who that was.
That's it, Victor. You're gonna get a letter in the mail.
I know. I wasn't me.
It was $5,000 for that. Columbia Records demanding $5,000 from Victor.
Because I used too many syllables.
That's cool.
It was a very popular song though back in the day, and it's been kind of brought back by the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
But they were on the top 40 with that song, even though it wasn't popular. Two of the brothers were Native American. Please excuse me, people. Yakua and Shishon were the tribes, and of course Mexican heritage. So they also came out clean cut, but then they were how do I say, they were encouraged to become themselves, Especially the drummer, he started dressing up in this, his long hair and native jewelry, things like that. And I found out like there's several people. I don't know. I think it was Blink Ray, like Jimi Hendrix was influenced by him. He also was part.
Hmm.
What was it? He is part.
Cherokee. He said he was Cherokee. Yeah, part Cherokee.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I have some of the stuff. I tell you, it's a lot of stuff. So, modern music, I would suggest listening to it because it's, like I said, it's all different types, from rock to hip hop to mellow, depending how you want, what you'd like. But say, oh, I got this information from the Library of Congress. Okay,
Oh,
citing my resources.
Good source.
So if people want to look it up.
It's got to be in MLA format.
No, that's nightmares on that. Terrible nightmares. But I mean,
oh, you scared me for a second. You disappeared there.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, I guess we can go ahead and start.
Okay.
So next up we have José, who is going to tell us about Native Americans in film. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Okay, so since it is Native American Heritage Month, I'm going to talk about Native Americans in film, and I'm going to do this a little bit different than I did it the last time. So,
That's all right.
but if y'all can help me, and I know there's less of us, so y'all can chime in when you want. So the first movie I'm going to talk about is a movie called A Man Called Horse. It's let me see if I can find the date on this. I know I had everything open, so I could just look real quick. This movie is from 1970. Stars the famous Richard Harris, and that's one of the earliest movies that I remember seeing where Native Americans were portrayed in a positive way, because usually they're portrayed as savages or as, you know, the bad guy, right? The cowboy's always the good guy, and the Native American's always the bad guy. This one was kind of interesting because it's this white guy gets it from his perspective, and he ends up living with this tribe of Indians. And he doesn't get along with them at first, kind of has that same attitude that they're savages, but then eventually they come to accept them. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. You ever seen the movie, Belinda?
I know I haven't. It's
They even
one that
made
I've been wanting to see, but I have not. I
even-
just want to see it because Richard Harris is in it. He's a
Richard
really
Harris.
excellent actor. Yeah.
And he's not wearing a shirt, so
Oh, and he's younger.
macho Richard Harris. I guess it was so good they even made a second one. I never seen the second one, but I've seen, you know, when I was looking up this one, I saw that there was another one that was made. And it shows a little bit of like the culture of Native Americans. It was interesting, and as a kid I'd never seen anything like this before, so I thought it was pretty good. So this one is called A Man Called Horse. I really don't know how Native Americans thought of the movie, but I think at that time there was a lot of awareness going on because it was around the time of the civil rights movement.
Right.
And a lot of other people were getting involved, like, you know, Mexican Americans at the Chicano movement. You got the women's liberation movement. And then there was the American Indian movement. And so I think there was a lot of kind of going back to Native Americans and trying to give them a little bit more respect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you might know, this is also maybe around the time when, I forget the name of the lady that accepted the award for Marlon Brando at the Oscars. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what her name was, but he sent her instead of him going to get the Oscar.
Exactly. Yeah.
And she was talking about, instead of like giving like an acceptance speech, she talked about like the conditions that Native Americans have had to live in. And I remember recently hearing about how, I think they said that when she went out there, John Wayne was in the back, and he wanted they had to hold him down because he wanted to go out and do something violent to her because he was upset.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, I never really liked John Wayne in the first place. And I know he's this icon, and I'm sure people are going to be like mad at me. But I lost a lot of respect for the guy because, you know, he was like really angry that this Native American was up there sort of defending Native Americans. And I guess he had it in his head, you know, he was been playing cowboy parts for so long
Right.
that, you know, that's not the way that they should act or something. I don't know. But I read this recently, and I guess I think on NPR they even did like an interview with her because it had been like maybe like 50th anniversary or something since when she had come up on stage.
I looked up her name. I believe it. I hope I'm going to pronounce it right. It's Sasheen Little Feather.
Little Feather, that's right. Yeah. So I guess around this time is when these movies that were portraying Native Americans a little bit more positively, you know, were coming out. Like I said, because of the American Indian movement, you know, the Red Power, Native Americans were going back and taking over their lands. They were doing protests where they were occupying lands that they said had been taken from them. Wounded Knee, you know, different ones like that. Alcatraz, they went to Alcatraz, they took over the island. So I guess it was kind of like an interesting time, and maybe that's why this movie came out the way it did and portrayed natives the way it did. But then again, you have on the other hand, I think we were talking about this last time about the Native American guy in that one commercial about keeping the environment clean, right? And he turns around, he's got the little tear, real iconic, right? He's like crying, and then it turns out that the guy was Italian.
Oh my God!
Wasn't even Native American, like Luigi Little Feather or something. I don't know what his name is. No, they had like a totally Italian name, but you know, then you had that right on the other side of things. So I guess there was still a lot of I don't know, discrimination, I guess, or disrespect for Native Americans. Okay, well, I'll move on to the next. Oh, yeah, if you want to.
I was just looking up his name. His name is Espera Oscar de Corti.
There you go.
Yeah.
Build
a career off portraying native characters in Hollywood westerns.
Yeah.
And presented himself as native in his real life. Oh, that's bad. That's horrible. Wow.
Yeah. And I guess it was common at the time, right? I remember seeing, I think it was about the show F Troop. I guess there used to be some Native Americans. They used to there were some white guys that used to dress up like Native Americans on the show. I don't know if you're familiar with that show, F Troop.
I remember
came back from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, from the 60s, like seeing commercials and bits, but we never watched it, so I don't know.
I never did either, but I remember reading something about that the guys that would come out as Native Americans on the show, because I guess it took place in the West, like the Old West. And the guys that play Native Americans were white guys. And so recently people have looked back at that and said, well, you know, it's not right. You know, it's like playing blackface or whatever.
I think that was pretty much the norm for any film that required Native Americans, in the past. Yeah. Even Mel Brooks, I think he even did he plays a Native American in one of his films. I remember seeing that. But yeah, like I said, it was a different time, and I guess now that people are a little bit more, you know, aware, I guess, right? Don't want to be discriminatory. It's a little bit different now. Okay, we'll move on to the next movie. The next one I got is Last of the Mohicans, even though it doesn't have a lot of Native Americans in there, but they are portrayed in a pretty positive way. And one of the actors that plays a Native American in there, I forgot the other one. I know Victor mentioned him the last time, but the main one that sticks out to me is the Wes Studi. Mm-hmm. And Wes Studi does a really good job, even though he's really in the movie very little. His scenes are limited, but man, he's just he plays a really good bad guy in the movie. Of course, he's a bad guy, but he's really, really good in the role. And he does have a few parts where he speaks. You know, he has like a little speech somewhere in there in the middle of the movie, but stood out to me.
And of course, now Wes Studi is like this famous actor. He's been in tons of movies, not just playing Native Americans, but he's played other characters. Like he was in Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Or no, was it Al Pacino? Wait, who came out in Heat? Was it Val Kilmer? I'm sorry.
Val Kilmer?
Yeah, was it Heat?
I never did see that one, so I
Okay,
can't even tell you.
I'm trying to think of it right now. I'm trying to think of it. I want to say it was. No, you know what? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Well, it is Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro,
Al Pacino,
and Al
right?
Pacino.
Yeah, and Wes Studi comes out in it. He plays a detective that works along with Al Pacino. They work together, and there's like a group of them.
Uh-huh.
So that was the first time I'd ever seen a Native American playing like a regular part, because they never mentioned he's a Native American in the movie. He's just there, like he's an FBI agent. I thought that was pretty cool because, he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
They always use him as a Native American, and so I thought that was kind of cool. And of course, he's had a super long career in film. One of my favorite roles that he did was in a movie called Mystery Men with Ben Stiller, Hank Azaria, Janine Garofalo. It's a comedy. And
I
they play
haven't seen these movies. Where
never
have I
seen this?
been?
Come on, movie lady.
No.
Gotta get the list, man.
Mystery.
I know.
You need to write. You need this.
I
Write
only
this down on a
know from
list.
Last of the Mohicans here.
Lots of the Mohicans. But in Mystery Men, he's like it's a comedy, and they're like misfit. Paul Rubens comes out in it too. Pee Wee Herman.
Oh,
But he doesn't-
Wow.
Yeah, there's several comedians in there, and it's a pretty funny movie. They play like misfit superheroes. Like they all have these really lame superpowers, all of them. Like one guy, he can only turn invisible, but only when people aren't looking at him. So yeah.
Wait, I get that way too.
Oh my
Help?
God,
Can I get some help
Susan.
here? Can I get some help?
But you gotta
Sorry.
Wes Studi is like their mentor. He's like their Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh.
He's like a former superhero, and he sort of like guides them through.
He's a Professor Xavier, is that it?
Exactly, yeah. But he's funny in the movie. He's real funny. Which I didn't think he could be, because he's always played serious roles, and he comes out in the movie, he's pretty fun. But that's a really underrated comedy. Probably like you guys never heard of it, so I would highly recommend it. Let's see. The next one, Dances with Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Probably most people
I
have
remember
heard
that
about
one being really big, yeah.
Won the Oscar. Kevin Costner, first time directing, won the Oscar. Of course, he stars in it. And the movie almost wasn't made, and he had to put up like somewhere like around $3 or $4 million to like fund the rest of it. That's how much. Yeah, he took a big gamble, but it paid off. Yeah, out of his own pocket. He said he had to take it out of his own pocket to put
Well,
it.
it was a really long movie too, if I remember.
About 3 hours almost.
Yeah.
And then they came out with an extended cut, which is almost 5 hours long. So
Holy cow.
like the director's super cut.
I would need 2 intermissions for that. I don't think I could do that.
But good movie. Again, Wes Studi has a little part in it. Graham Greene, I think is the name of the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he comes out in it too. Plays a big part in the movie. There's a few other actors in there that I've seen in other movies later, but I just don't know their names. But the main ones are Wes Studi and Graham Greene. And then I think Madeline Stowe, I think, is the name of the lady that comes out as Kevin Costner's
love interest.
Love interest. There you go. So that one was pretty good. It's a great movie. Some people don't like it, I guess, because it's got that white savior complex type thing. It's a white guy coming to save but I really don't see that in the movie. I think it gives a lot of respect to the Native Americans, and they speak in their language, and Costner tried to learn the language. He talks to them in the language. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What else? The next one I got is Wind Talkers. That one's got
oh yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, that one's got what did I forget his name?
Isn't it Nicolas Cage?
There you go. So I was gonna do the impression. Come on.
That's
My best Nicolas Cage. Victor's not on. Victor's the king of impressions, so I can't.
Yeah, I know. My gosh.
Adam Beach also, he's the guy that plays the Native American in their movies. The movie is about the Navajo code talkers that helped out during World War II. And even the movie's not that great. It's interesting. I think the movie's kind of cheesy and there's some things about it. But the story itself.
Yeah, I never knew about that, about that whole event until the movie. It's like, wow, why didn't we know about this before?
Exactly.
That's true, right? Movies always bring it out first.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we read books.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. I never heard of it. And now, you hear a lot about these people, those men, the Navajo that helped during the war. And I mean, there's been Native Americans that have been fighting in all wars that we don't really ever give much respect or we don't ever really like acknowledge that they helped out during so many wars. And especially in this one, because of the way they portray in the movie that they had this special code based on their language. And the Japanese were never able to break the code. And they say that it's because of them that we won the war in the Pacific. And I think I mentioned to you guys last time when I was in the Marine Corps, I met a lot of Native Americans, a lot of them Navajo, who had joined because of their fathers and grandfathers and, great grandfathers that had served in the war and in other wars and in the past. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they're still keeping up that tradition even until today. They still remember that, contributions that their forefathers made.
Yeah, if I remember, like even as far back as colonial times, they've been helping in wars, like in building America, but they were never given any credit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just remember not hearing anything in history, classes or anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I teach history, and it's kind of sad because what I have to teach about Native Americans is like one day's worth, that's about all I teach. And the rest of the year, it's all, other history, but there's so much more to it than just the stuff that I teach in one day. There's so many other stories and things that Native Americans have contributed to America. But I won't get into that. That's the whole. That's for another podcast.
We'll
skip that. That's for a whole different kind of podcast.
School politics. Yeah, we're not interested in.
We're not into that. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Not for this show.
Let's keep it fun.
Yes.
And happy. Otherwise, I'm gonna go off on a rant. I'll be like Nicolas Cage.
Right.
What are we talking about here? I got to work on my Nicolas Cage. Okay, and then Apocalypto. It's another one also that I thought it was mostly, when I first saw the movie, I thought it was mostly Native Americans that are in the movie, but I guess there's also some Mexican indigenous. I don't know how to describe them. I think it's because they did such a good job in the movie. They were so convincing that I just assumed they were all indigenous people, but they're not all indigenous. Some of them are wearing prosthetics to make them more look indigenous, to get that kind of Mayan Aztec nose, and then they had to learn the language too, the Mayan language. So the whole movie's in that Mayan dialect, which I thought was interesting. And don't let it, for people that have never seen the movie, don't let it turn you off, because some people don't like reading the subtitles and all.
Right.
But the movie's very interesting, and it's entertaining and informative. And Mel Gibson directed it. I think this is sometime after he did that Passion of the Christ, so he was kind of, this hot director. Everybody wanted him to make movies, and I guess at the time he could pretty much make whatever movie he wanted to make, so he made that one. And it was a pretty big hit. And I still like the movie. Still one of my favorites. And that's Apocalypto. And then yeah. Oh,
No,
I
that-
thought you were
No,
gonna
she's,
say
I don't know.
Susan was sneezing.
Thanks. See, visible. Visible.
Ah. You're like, And then the last
So
one I got is
you would recommend the movie then? I'm
oh
sorry.
yeah. It's an excellent movie. I think so.
Okay.
I think it's a pretty good movie. It's more
I'm
like
putting it off.
it's more like an action movie than anything. I think.
Mhm.
You know, if you're into action movies, you'll like it. And even in the beginning, when they're just kind of telling you the backstory, it's still interesting. It still, keeps your interest. But the guy, I don't know what the name of the real actor that plays him, but in the movie his name's Jaguar Paw, and it kind of like focuses around him towards the end, and there's like this long action sequence for like the last 45 minutes of the movie, which is really good. Really good. He turns into like this Rambo character, and he's, trying to run away from these other bad guy Native American guys or Native Indigenous people that are trying to get him. It's really good.
His name is Rudy Youngblood.
And somebody had told me that he was from here, from San Antonio. I don't know if he really is or not. Yeah, he might even, maybe from Texas. I don't know. Somebody told me that, but maybe they were just trying to brag, like, oh yeah, I'm related to the guy from Apocalypto. I'm like, shut up.
Never know.
What
I like about you including that film is that a lot of people failed to recognize that even indigenous people from Central, South, and Northern America, not just the U.S. or Canada,
Mm-hmm.
Are Native Americans. Where it's the Americas. And I enjoy hearing that group being included in there.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Inuit up in Alaska would be considered,
Exactly.
Native Americans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
And I may be poking the hornet's nest by saying this, but even we as Mexican Americans, as people of Mexican ancestry, if you look back at our history, it was the Spanish and then the indigenous people that were living in what's today Mexico.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that disagree with that, but oh yeah, my dog's disagreeing with that too. So. She and I always disagree on that, so difference of opinion. But anyhow, yeah. But I mean, we as Mexican American people, like even have like Tenoch, from Wakanda Forever, right?
There, yeah.
Yeah, he's a Mexican indigenous, Mexican of indigenous descent. And if you guys ever seen the movie, they use the language too. They use the Mayan dialect in the movie too. So I don't know. That's sort of those sort of things sort of pull me back towards those roots, because I think for a lot of us we've never been taught that. And we forget about that. That we're indigenous. I look at myself and I'm brown, and I think I look more indigenous than I do Spanish. I got more in common with Tenoch than I do with Antonio Banderas or whatever.
Yeah, well, I did my my DNA, and I did find did find some indigenous background there.
Yeah, all right.
Now, which I would love to know, like which group of people we hail from, but unfortunately they didn't go quite that far. But that would be interesting.
But if you know where your family came from, maybe like in Mexico, you
I
might be able to say like, okay, they're in this region, so this is where these natives live.
There's like 5 different groups in there, so it's probably a mix of all of those. But who knows?
Cool. You're gonna change your name to it's a Xochitl or something?
No.
Xochitl.
I'll keep my name. That's fine.
Xochitl Zepeda or something. Yeah.
Xochitl.
I want to be Talks Little. He's not. He's not Talks Little. What?
Talks Little. Okay. All right. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is it's not a movie. I know we got like 3 minutes left. Just want to highly recommend a TV show since my thing was about movies, but I'm going to go off real quick. Talk about a TV show called Reservation Dogs. Highly recommend that show. Very underrated. It got canceled after the 3rd season. I know every time I get into something, they like cancel it or whatever. What's that?
Oh, it did cancel?
Yeah.
So this 3rd season is the last season, and Taika Waititi is a producer. He's the guy that directed the Thor Ragnarok, but he also did that movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, Jojo Rabbit.
Yep.
Okay, he directed that, and he's been doing comedy.
Doesn't he do the vampire one?
There you go. What We Do in the Shadows,
in the dark, or something like that. Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows. And
there you go. Yeah.
So he produced it, but the cast is all Native American from here. Some Canadian natives also. Wes Studi, Graham Greene come out in it. They have little parts in the show. But it's a great show. It's funny. It's got like heart. There's parts there where it's serious. There's really, literally some episodes where I got like choked up. Like me and Melinda were watching it and we were just kind of like ready to start crying because it's really emotional, but it's funny too. It's really funny. The actors are supposed to be like teenagers, early 20s.
Yeah, they're all really young.
And they're great actors. And I mean, everybody in the show from the entire cast is funny. So I highly recommend the show. Hopefully maybe there's enough with all our podcast viewers, enough that watch the show, maybe they can bring it back.
I have a question. Maybe that show, is it filmed on an actual reservation or?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. It's supposed to be that they're on a reservation.
Right.
And it shows like the life, that they live on a reservation and there's poverty and those sort of things. And, so they try to show like the reality of it, but I don't know for sure if it's filmed on location or not. I
just thought about that. It's like, I wonder if it is, but that's something for me to look up, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But highly recommend it. I think it's a great show and just very bummed out that they canceled it. And that's it. That's my spiel. So I got like a minute left.
Well, bravo. Good work. Good work. Very, very interesting. Very, what's the word?
Enlightening.
Educational. Very educational. Yes.
Even when I'm not teaching, I'm teaching. See?
Well, it looks like we're going to wrap up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our podcast with everybody and help us grow this little show. We'd like to do some bigger things, like maybe be able to play music. But that's it. I guess we're going to sign off. So anybody have a final thing to say?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble. All right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Guys,
Bye.